Play Psychology, Brian Sutton Smith.
What is the opposite of play? I know what you're thinking. It's work, right? Actually, it's not. Apparently, the opposite of play is depression. Now, who wants to be depressed? I know we've been going through our lives, hearing, hey, stop playing and get back to work. But actually what they're not saying is stop playing and start getting depressed. You see, when we're playing games, our attention systems, our memory systems, our motivation systems, our memory recall systems, they're all going at full capacity. And this is when we're feeling most challenged and we're feeling the most vibrant. This is a picture right here of a player on the verge of an epic win. It was Brian Sutton, the psychologist, who actually figured out that the opposite of play is not work, but depression based on these physiological traits that are happening. As we're playing games, of course, all of our attention systems are going, our memory systems, our motivation and reward systems, they're all being activated. And what's happening is dopamine is being sent throughout our bodies when we're successfully completing these challenges. This is just what happens. It's like when you score a goal, you get a high, right? You're like, hey, high five, right? That's what happens when you score a goal. Dopamine pumps through your body, making you feel more euphoric, and then pushing you to play and even harder to the next goal. Because, this dopamine is kind of addicted, hey, let's be honest. There's a lot of things going on around in the media about how addictive games are. They're like a drug. Hey, television is just as addictive. There's a lot of different media that's very addictive out there that doesn't necessarily have to be drugs. And the reason is because it gives us this happy feeling, dopamine. The same thing happens when you're exercising. It's not a bad thing. So dopamine is going through our bodies and it's giving us, yes, this really great feeling. And that's why we want to go back and practice more and more. And the more we practice, the better we get. And the better we actually get at problem solving, the more we try. A recent study actually showed that children, the average child nowadays in the U.S., will spend about 10,000 hours playing video games over their childhood. Now, if you look at that, it's basically the same amount of time that you need to attend 5th grade through and graduate high school with a perfect attendance. So just imagine, all these kids are playing games. Basically, they're getting a second education. What kind of education is being given to them? This is Nolan Bushnell. He's also considered to be the father of video games. He's the founder of Atari and often is quoted as being the inventor of Pong, although he only licensed that. Now, being the father of video games and starting the video game revolution with arcades and Nintendos and PlayStations and Xboxes, all started with this guy. Now he's come out of retirement and he's focusing on education. His new company, he's got a couple of them, but one of them is called BrainRush.com. And he says, by using game techniques, he can teach students with retention 4-year high school curriculum inside 1 year. 4 years of science and math inside of 1 year. Languages inside of 1 year. However, creativity, that's something he's still working on. No arts classes. Although music, now, here's another example of an interesting piano that's being used in a hack to teach music as a video game.
The piano system offers a quick and easy introduction to playing piano. Pre-knowledge is no longer necessary. Instead, piano uses an alternative note representation mapping directly onto the keys. The system provides feedback and actively supports a steep learning curve. Aspects of gamification help to motivate users of an impatient, fast-moving generation.
It almost sounds too good to be true. 4 years of high school in 6 months, learning the piano all by playing games? However, there is precedent. In the 90s, there is a game which was very popular on the Game Boy. It basically increased the skill level of all of the players that were playing it, which, being very popular, were a lot of high school students. Because of this, the standardized tests had to be changed and made more difficult.